Well, good afternoon folks, welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with another review for you. This is the third one this week. I still hope to get another video out later before the end of the week on another subject. This is a considerably massive project. Where are we? We're in the western United States, in the state of Washington, and this is Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in the United States of America on their big west coast. Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. This is the latest payware scenery from the MK Studios stable, and it's a vast project, I have to say. May even be possibly one of the best sceneries they've done. This is currently version 1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020, and there is a version available for 2024 as well. The download comes in at 1.6 gig and it installs at 2.7 gig. It's available from a couple of vendors, AnyBuilds, Contrail and SimMarket. At the moment, certainly for UK purchasers, the SimMarket has the best price. You're looking at €21.59, which equates to roughly $24.38 US, or £18.29 UK. The US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on which country you're in when you purchase this. This is a vast project. I've just spent an hour zooming around it and looking in and out of almost every building. It's a really extensive piece of work, not just the airport itself, which is big enough. They've also, as you can see from this shot, included various off-airport bits and pieces, hotels and buildings that fit in around. There's also a fully animated train system that goes all the way down this track. I mean, it's massive. Here's a fuel farm down here, and you've got other bits and pieces off airport around here as well. And they've even built the trestles to hold the approach lights for the 16 area, the northern end of the 3 runways here. So this is a massive project that's been undertaken, and I think what impresses me is there's so much detail everywhere. Terminal interiors have been developed airside only, nothing landside unfortunately, but then I'm not complaining. This is a massive project, and you know, it would probably require months of work, but they've done airside pretty well, although there's no security and I can't really see where you enter into the airside area, but I'm not going to worry about that. We'll have a look at that in time. But right off the bat, this is a wonderful airport. There goes the animated train just down the bottom here, but it's an amazing product at a really good price, I think. Anyway, let's not dwell on that for a moment. Let's have a look at the actual features. Okay, so features. We've got a highly detailed rendition of Seattle Airport, KSEA, and I mean it is highly detailed, and you'll see hopefully in the video. The interiors are modelled, okay, so it's only airside that's modelled, but pretty much every airside area along here is modelled with people and features, and it looks really nice. Up-to-date high-quality ground textures, accurate airport and runway elevation data. They've certainly modelled the elevation here and there to make it work, and it looks pretty good, to be honest. They have custom jetways, which you will see operating in the jetway test. Custom approach runway, taxiway lights, ILS and other objects. And here, for example, you can just see the flashing lights. There's a trestle here that's raised on the ground that carries the lighting, approach lighting system for runway 34 center. Custom vehicle models, custom approach runway lights, custom taxiway labels, and it's also AI compatible, which I think really is a massive tribute, because it's kind of difficult really to include a project this big such that it works with the artificial intelligence in the simulator. We're also going to be looking at a featured repaint for you. It's the Delta Airlines Airbus A321. It's a repaint for the FENIX Airbus A321 by JAviation. I've featured him before, and we have yet another really nice repaint on a slightly different aircraft for you. And if you're interested in that livery, having seen the review through, the link to it will be in the description below. So as you can see, a vast project here, really is vast. So okay, let's get down and have a look at this aircraft very quickly. Okay, so while we're here, let's have a good look at this repaint of the FENIX Airbus A321. This is another repaint by J'Aviations, the painter that I've featured before, and he does really good repaints. In this download you'll get 4 different types of variations or versions of this aircraft, and they're all in sort of 8K as well. So a really nice looking aeroplane. So let's have a close-up look at some of it from the outside. So once again, a nice looking tail, plenty of detail. I mean, the colour is wonderful. You've got the registration and you've got the cutouts there as well. The doors look really good, and you've got the ADS satellite system on the top of the aircraft here as well. So a close look at the engine. Again, the repaint is excellent. All of the decals and signs are really good as well. Everything looks really impressive. And there, looking at one of the doors, you've got some really nice decals and everything that you can read really close up, which is a sort of tribute to the detail the painter has done. You've even got weathered rivets down here too. Quick look at the wing. Again, fine detail on the wing, which is excellent. And here we look at the starboard side of the aircraft towards the nose area. Again, all the detail is there, all of the little things that you expect to see. Static vents and stuff. The landing gear looks really good, and it's also been painted properly as well. And there you've got a full view of the starboard side of the aircraft. It all looks pretty impressive. So how about we go inside and have a look. So here we're looking at the front of the cabin. Again, the fine detail. He's done the internal part of the cabin really well. You've got your safety cards down here, and a little screen up there. All of this including the appropriate food tray, dispenser trays and stuff. So there you can see, looking at the L1 door, and there's the door on the right hand side with the Delta food trolleys there. Looking in the cabin, this is a 2-class aircraft. You've got business class and economy. Here's the separator between the 2 classes, and they pull the curtain across. Beautiful seating. The interior's been done really well. And just a quick overview of the business class section looking forward. So here's the economy class cabin, which looks quite impressive, to be honest. I mean, the seats look great. It'd be nice to fly on this aircraft. Here you've got the escape door on the port side, and the same on the starboard side. And here you can see, looking forward, you've got the screens and things behind the seats as well, and you've also got the cabin crew seating here as well, the pull-out seat that they can use along with the interphone. So here you've got the mid-area toilet, which is sort of halfway down the aircraft. And once again, just behind the toilet bulkhead, you've got 2 more escape exits over here, and once again the access seating for the crew. Just one little anomaly I've noticed here. You can see this seat actually goes into the toilet thing. Well, you don't see it when you're looking this way, but from when you're looking forward it appears. So maybe that just is a small detail needs fixing. And here once again you've got the rear galley, and you've got 2 more toilets as well. So it's a really nice aircraft interior, very, very nice. See, if I turn this way, the screens are back. So I don't know, it may well just be an anomaly with the aircraft, and maybe that's the limit of what the painters can do. But interior, this aircraft looks really nice. The paint job's great, and once again the painter has gone to town and done a real proper job on this. So there you are, folks. It's a repaint of the FENIX Airbus A321 add-on. The repaint is by J'Aviation, and I will put the link in the description below if you're interested in getting this repaint. The repaint comes with 4 liveries inside, and yeah, it's a lovely job, and nice to be able to feature it. And I actually have bought this gentleman a coffee because I've showcased 2 of his liveries now. I think he's a really good painter, and they deserve the support. So that was the Delta livery for you. Let's look at the history of Seattle International Airport now. Okay, history. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha, also referred to as SEATTLE-TAC, is a public-use international airport owned and operated by the Port of Seattle. It is primary commercial airport serving the city of Seattle and the downtown Seattle metropolitan area in the state of Washington in the United States. It's located approximately 14 miles or 23 kilometers south of downtown Seattle and 18 miles or 29 kilometers northeast of Tacoma. The airport, which is the busiest in the Pacific Northwest region of North America, is situated between Portland, Oregon and Vancouver in British Columbia. The entire airport covers an area of 3.9 square miles or 2,500 acres or 10 square kilometers, much smaller than other US airports with similar annual passenger numbers. The airport has flights to cities throughout North America, Oceania, Europe, the Middle East and Asia. It's the primary hub for Alaska Airlines, whose headquarters are near the airport. It's also a hub and international gateway for DELTA Airlines, which has expanded at the airport since 2011. As of 2022, 13 airlines operate into this airport, serving 91 domestic and 28 international destinations. The airport was built by the Port of Seattle in 1944 after the US military took control of Boeing Field in World War II. The port received $1 million from the Civil Aeronautics Administration to build the airport and $100,000 from the city of Tacoma. The first scheduled airline flights were Northwest and Trans-Canada in 1947. Western and United subsequently moved from Boeing Field, and Pan Am followed suit in 1952. West Coast, Air West and Hughes Air West stayed at Boeing Field until 1971. The original terminal was designed by architect Herman A. Moldenauer. And just where on this shot here, you can see the trestles here, look, that have been built to carry the approach lights for the 3 runways coming in from the north. After the death of US Senator Harry Martin Jackson in 1983, the Seattle Port Commission voted to change the airport's name to Henry M. Jackson International Airport. Citizens of Tacoma interpret the change as an insult to their community, the second time in the airport's history that the port authorities has attempted to remove Tacoma from the name. The $100,000 that Tacoma had provided for the airport's construction during World War II had come with an explicit promise that the city would be included in the airport's name. An additional complicating factor was the existence of another Jackson International Airport, now Jackson Medgar Wiley Evers International Airport, in Jackson, Mississippi, whose management threatened legal action to preserve its exclusive use of the name. The controversy was resolved after polls of Seattle and Tacoma area residents showed their preference for the original name by margins as much as 5-1. Helen Jackson, the widow of the late Senator Henry M. Jackson, expressed her desire that their family remain neutral in the debate. With a 3-2 vote for the Port of Seattle Commission, the name reverted to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in 1984. In the late 1980s, the Port of Seattle and a council representing local community governments considered the future of air traffic in the region and predicted that the airport could reach capacity by 2000. In 1992, the Planning Committee concluded that the best solution was to add a third runway to the airport and to construct a supplemental 2-runway airport in one of the neighboring counties. Members of the community opposed the third runway, as did the Highline School District and the cities of Des Moines, Burien, Federal Way, Tukwila and Normandy Park, but a 1994 study concluded that there were no feasible sites for an additional airport anyway. The Port of Seattle approved a plan for the new runway in 1996, prompting a lawsuit. However, the port secured the necessary permits by agreeing to noise reduction programs and environmental protections. Runway opponents appealed these permits but dropped the challenges in 2004. Seattle Airport has 103 gates in 4 concourses and 2 satellite buildings. The two satellite terminal buildings, named after them, named the North and South satellites, are connected to 4 concourses in the main terminal by a 3-line automated people mover system called the Seattle Underground. The underground transit system moves passengers quickly within the 4 concourses of the central terminal and out to the 2 satellite terminals. All non-pre-cleared international arrivals are currently handled at the South Satellite Terminal, regardless of their departure. A new control tower was built in the beginning of 2001 and opened in November 2004 at a cost of $26 million. In 2007, the airport became the first to implement an avian radar system, providing 24-hour monitoring of wildlife activity across the airfield. So there you are, folks. I thought I would put in some extensive history because this is quite an important airport on the US West Coast, and I think MK Studios, that have done such a wonderful job, deserve a full review here. The airport's been through a lot of controversy and certainly an awful lot of building, and what you see now, thanks to MK Studios, is probably the latest version that sits on the West Coast itself. Very, very impressive. So that was history. Let's have a close look at these 3 runways now. Okay, so runways. So before we lower the light and have a look at the runways and talk about the NAVAIDS, I just wanted to show you the trestle system here at the southern end of the runways. And here you've got the masts, and you've got the approach lights, which form the lighting system here. This is runway 34 right, and this is all accurately modelled here in the scenery. And here again you can see 3-4 center. Once again you've got the same trestle system carrying the approach light system for the runway. Here you've got a balancing pond as well. And finally runway 3-4 left's in front of us. Once again here's the trestle system carrying the approach lights. And one other thing just to show you while we're here, here's a little bridge tunnel. Now in almost every scenery I look at, these are blocked off. You just get like a black square. Which makes it look nice, but nothing actually works. This tunnel is empty, so you can actually see a vehicle drive through it. So one of the few sceneries where they modelled bridge tunnels accurately and actually had them open. Okay, so let's lower the lighting now and look at the runways, essentially starting with runway 3-4, left, centre and right. Okay, so here we are then. Seattle-Tacoma Airport operates 3 main runways. Runway 34 right 16 left is the longest, measuring 11,901 feet or 3,627 meters, and is the most easterly of the 3 runways closest to the terminal complex. That's this one here. Next comes runway 34 center, measuring 9,426 feet or 2,873 meters, which is here. Finally, the shortest and westernmost runway, 34 left 16 right, measures 8,500 feet or 2,591 meters. All 3 runways are made from concrete. Now the airport lies at an elevation of 432 feet or 135 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -7 hours time zone. Now the state of Washington, like much of the United States, does indeed observe daylight saving time. And so with both Seattle and the UK on their respective summer times now, the airport is currently 8 hours behind the UK. So 3 runways, 2-3-4 right, 3-4 centre and 3-4 left. That's these 3 here. They all feature high intensity runway lighting, centerline lighting, medium intensity approach lighting system with runway alignment indicator lights, and precision approach path indicators on the left side. There's a touchdown zone on runway 34 right only. Yeah, so 34 right, this one here, supposedly has a touchdown zone. The others don't. But as you can see, precision approach path indicators on the left side, the approach lighting system as per the charts, and you've got centerline on all 3 runways. So here's a quick close-up of 34 right, and as you can see, the touchdown zone lighting is actually missing from the runway. So that's the only anomaly. The chart says 34 right has touchdown zone lighting, but it's not in the scenery. So that's probably the only little anomaly they need to replace. But to be honest, I'm not really going to complain about it. I just point that out. Okay, so approaches for runway 34 right, 34 center and 34 left, all three runway ends, has an instrument landing system which is certified to category 1 and category 2 low visibility ops. They also have RNAV GPS Y option and an RNAV RNP Z option. And finally there's the MOL visual approach option, which is another visual approach option chart which you will find in the chart system. So that takes care of this end, the southern front ends of the runways. Let's go up the other end and have a look. Okay, so here we are looking at the three runways at the northern end, and a beautiful view of Mount Rainier in the distance there as the sun begins to set. So 16 left, 16 center and 16 right, here you've got them all. They all feature high intensity runway lighting, center line lighting of course, the same approach lighting system with sequence flashing lights, touchdown zone lighting, so there should be touchdown zone lighting on all three, and actually I can see it on the center line, but we'll look closely in a minute. And precision approach path indicators on the left side, with runway 16 right even, having the PAPIs on the right side. So this is correct. Two sets of PAPIs on the left side of these two runways, and it's on the right side of this runway. Now apparently at this end you should be touchdown zone on all three runways, so let's have a look. So looking for touchdown zone, and there we are, 16 left has it, 16 center has it as well, and 16 right. So this is all correct. The only thing that's missing is the touchdown zone markers for 34 right at the other end. Everything looks pretty good. Okay, so approach is available for 16 left, 16 center and 16 right. Again, you have an instrument landing system, this time certified to category 1, 2 and 3 low visibility ops, which is why you have this extensive lighting system here as well, because you can come into near zero visibility. As per the other runways, you also have RNAV GPS Y and RNAV RNP Z approach options. And there are two visual approach options as well. One's called the Bay visual approach and the other one's called the Husky visual approach. So guys need to check your charts. There's also an important alert notice here since the third runway was added. When transitioning from instrument to visual approach to runway 16 center, that's this one, make sure you are correctly aligned with the runway and not taxiway Tango, which is west and parallel to runway 16, and that's this one here. I mean, obviously at this time of the night the runways are lit, so they're pretty much indistinguishable. But during the day, because they're made of concrete, largely the same as the taxiways, there's the possibility to mistake the runway for this taxiway. So pilots, know your charts and do your briefing well before you arrive. So there you go, that was runways. Now let's have a look at the jetways here. We're going to test one of them and have a look. Okay, jetways. So here we are on stand Sierra 7. We've got the FENIX Airbus A321 in the Delta Airlines livery, and here we're going to just test the jetway. So let's give it a go. So there it goes, the head turns, a slight stop there, the wheels turn, and it looks like a reasonably good connection from here. Okay, the stairwell's gone into the concrete a little bit, but that happens 99% of the jetway animations I look at. So let's get a close-up look. And that looks pretty reasonable, and to be honest the jetway looks fine. It's a really nice model. Let's check from the other side. And once again, that looks pretty good from where we're sitting here. And notice the weathering here on the jetway. It all looks really impressive. And as you can see, we're parked pretty much correct here, right on the nose, directed spawned from the menu, so that looks pretty good. Okay, let's go inside the jetway now. Okay, so here we are inside the jetway. As you can see, the door is open and it doesn't appear to have interfered with the side of the jetway or the hood, which is good. That looks to have gone in a little bit through the roof, but we'll have a look in a minute. Connection here at the bottom is not too bad, although this really wouldn't be acceptable in the real world because you'd have passengers tripping all over the place. But nevertheless, I think for our purposes this is perfectly okay really. And once again, you can see the shutter is closed, so those of you who might use GSX, you're going to have passengers walking through a blocked door. So once again, I say to developers, please, if you're going to animate the jetways, let's see if you can animate it such that when it's connected to an aircraft, let's have this open, and when it's pulled away, then you can block it off. That's been done in at least one of the sceneries I've reviewed, so I think it would be a nice feature for any scenery developer who's looking to work on the jetway. So here's the view from inside looking out, and there looking up you can see the jetway has actually gone through the roof of the aircraft, which is something different. I've not seen that before. And there you can see we've got it inside as well. It's gone through the side here at the passenger cabin, but only a little bit. And here in the flight deck you've got a little bit that's gone through the roof here. But you know, no great shakes, it works. Okay, so here we are outside. Let's disconnect the jetway now. So there's a slight delay before the jetway moves, and there it is moving back. And that all looks pretty good. So, as I said, there's no specific GSX profile for this yet. There are some profiles available for Seattle. They may or may not work with this, because this is obviously it's a brand new product, but I dare say a GSX profile will appear very shortly at some point. So that was a jetway test. Let's get down to the scenery proper and have a look and see what we're presented with here in this new product. Okay folks, welcome back to the daytime. Now given what I've done so far, if I want to keep this video under an hour, I've got about 30 minutes to show you the rest of this airport during the day, during dusk, night and dawn. So we'll start at the very southern end, and first just showing you this off airport area here to the east of the runway 34 right. As you can see, this is typical of some of the stuff that they've done off airport. There's quite a bit of it. As we go and do the landside tour, you'll see various hotels and bits and pieces. Here we are just after midday. You've got a lovely view of Mount Rainier over there in the distance. Okay, so let's start our tour airside first. Here we've got the fuel farm there down below, and again you see how they've terraformed so it all fits. There's the Alaska Airlines hangar. And there's the Alaska Airlines hangar interior, again beautifully modelled, lots going on, and various cars and all bits and pieces around. Looks very, very nice. So we continue the tour northbound. Just try and slow this down a bit. As you can see, there's various bits of airside clutter, both vehicles and debris. I say debris, it's not really debris. But in where these stands are, airside, there are people, there's internal development airside, which we'll have a brief look at, certainly in there. But these are the stands and the taxiways, which, when they look really good, the detail's really great. They've done some great texture modelling here, coupled with all sorts of static vehicles and stuff that's pertinent to this airport. It really is. Where the buildings are nicely modelled and coloured and textures, and as you can see, I'm not really getting much in the way of frame rate issues. Get the odd shudder here and there. There's the fire station to the right hand side. And as you can see, I mean, we're moving along. This is SWISSPORT area. Not really got much of a judder at all, considering the detail in this scenery. But it all looks really good. There to the right you can see road signs. There goes the animated train. Here's a control tower. And there you can see we've got internal development, including the radar on top there. And there's a quick look in the tower. The only thing that's missing, of course, is the controllers. Even one would be good, but there you go. So we continue the airside tour north. There you can see an access control point down there. That's where the security gates for vehicles, very similar to the job I used to do. Again, more cars and vehicles. The models aren't too bad actually, the cars are pretty reasonable. Some of the cars in the car parks are sort of misplaced a bit, but here you've got cargo, sort of cargo area. This looks a lot better. Airside always looks good in almost every scenery, but here you've got some really wonderful texturing and modelling. United here and FedEx. I mean, the detail is really incredible, considering the size of this airport and the project that was on hand here. I mean, they've done a huge amount of work. And here you've got more part of the cargo area. And even the motorways landside look good. Actually, I should call them freeways, which is what they are. But you can see the extent of the work that's been done. They've gone beyond the boundaries of the airport pretty much and done really well. So let's have a quick look at taxiway signage during the day. Again, more vehicles and clutter. I mean, everything looks pretty impressive here. So 34 right, 16 left. This is the approach to 16 left. And you've got runway guard lights there. Can you see? We're certainly on this one. Yeah, so holding point C, you've got runway guard lights. And on holding point D. So a quick high-level shot at the north end of the runway. You've seen these during the intro. The approach lights stacked up on stanchions for the 3 runways. And again, more little bits of off-airport work that's gone on here and there. So this is the edge of the scenery on the northern boundary. As you can see, they've even 3D modelled the freeway, as I should call them. They're not motorways, they're freeways in America. And down there, look, traffic lights. And even some of the cars work well as well. Excellent. And you've got road signs, even down here, right off the airport, that nobody expects to look at. There's the train going along the track. We'll try and get a close look at it later. But for now, let's go just sort of landside of the airport, as it were. You've got the fence line below. Here you've got the roads, all done in 3D. The detail in this place is amazing. And look, some of the model cars, animated cars that are some of them part of the scenery and some of them are default. They actually go down the roads and look pretty realistic. There's the rear of the cargo area to the right hand side there. And if we come down a little bit lower, you can see the freeway signs. And just a quick look back the other way, you can see the signs on the other side of the highway there. So here comes the train. And once again, the road system, the car parks and everything here, landside, really impressive. As you can see, lots of odd vehicles and odd bits and pieces just to make this lively. Okay, we're not seeing much in the way of people or airline staff or anything like that. But I mean, I can forgive them for that really, because it's such a massive project. And when it comes inside to the terminal airside, you'll see that they're actually done really well. So a big multi-story car park here. Some of the cars are a little bit lacking, but other than that, they're okay. As you can see to the left, I think we've got a couple of hotel buildings there. And all this is really nicely done, I have to say. Again, traffic lights down there. None of this is part of the airport as such, and yet they've modelled it and it looks great. There goes our little train. It's all pretty nice indeed. So we go past the Delta hangar. You've got the Alaska Airlines to the right there. Here you've got a couple of aircraft. There's one on the other side of the hangar as well. But you can see how far that train goes out as well. Again, some really beautiful modelling. And lots of little bits and pieces off airport. Okay, just a quick look from inside the cockpit. This is what you'll see when you park up on stand 8. Looking out the captain's window and looking across the airport through the first officer's window, you can see various vehicles. So for a change, a little look outside the passenger's window here on the port side. And there's a look from the starboard side. So let's get back airside again and have a quick look at some of the stands and some of the, we'll poke our nose inside the terminal somewhere and you can have a look at some of the people. But as you can see, this is all accurately modelled. It looks great. I can't wait to see it in the darkness hours. But it really does look impressive. We'll just get up close to some of the stands here. And yes, the VDGS system does work. If you have the appropriate module, then it will work. So, I mean, the detail is just really impressive. So there you go, looking through the windows there, you can see people. And the stand details are really impressive. And as I said, a lot of these, pretty much all of these airside lounges are filled with people. There you can see through the windows. Well, the detail's incredible. So as we run across the stands here, there's so much detail. The stands look great. So we will pop in here very quickly for you to have a look and see what's going on. Remember, this is 2020. I don't know what it's going to look like in flights in 2024. It's going to look a lot better, I should imagine. But here you've got this big atrium, static people all over the place. You've got a little restaurant there. And again, this is what I like. We're up close here, and yet you can read every one of these flight details on the flight board here. It's really impressive. I mean, okay, they're not animated, and you know, you sometimes get to expect a lot more, but they've done just enough to make it look really worthwhile. And again, to the right there, we've got that airside area with people and airside lounge as well. And as you can see, the detail's really impressive. And a really good variety of animated vehicles too. Once again, you can see people in there. And wherever you look, I mean, airside, the detail is amazing. You guys flying in here for the first time will be met by a really good visual experience as you land and taxi up here. But as you can see, you've got landside, you've got road crossings, traffic lights, signage, all of which is nothing to do with the airport because it's not even airside. Yet they've done it and modelled it and it looks great. It's incredible detail. It's such a really impressive job that they've done here. Okay, so here we are at the station. I don't know if this guy's going to stop, but we'll have a look and see if he does. Station's got no people on it, which is a pity because it's been so nicely done. It looks like he might stop. In fact, you have two of them there. Really nice, and away they go. Could have done with a couple of people on the platform. Okay, so that was a brief tour during the daytime. Let's turn it down to dusk now, see what the lighting looks like. Okay, before we turn it right down to bring the lights up, this is 8 PM local time. Today is the 8th of May 2025, the date of this video, and just look at the beautiful colours and reflections and shadows, and this, it just looks great. It really does. So let's turn it down to dusk now where the lights come on and see what the dynamic lighting looks like. Okay, it's 8:30 local time. Now the lights are graduated. They started to come on about 6 minutes ago and they've gradually gone up a little bit until we've reached this point. So this is 6 minutes of lights coming on. And looking to the left there, we can see the train is lit, which is another really good thing. But a beautiful view there of Mount Rainier in the distance. There's the two trains pulling into the station on the left there. It's really nice. So as we look south there across the runway complex, you can see the two hangars over here, Delta and Alaska Airlines, all lit up nicely. And we look north and you can see green centerline lights, which are going to be a big help taxiing, and lots of nice subtle lighting on some of the buildings. And there you've got the city on the right hand side here in the distance, and the sun has gone down over the mountains. It's such a lovely place. So it's a quick close-up look at the stand. Here we've got the aircraft parked on the stand, and here you've got the tug lights are on. You've got the end of the jetways are lit as well, and the jetway numbering, which is really going to help. And here, as you look through the windows, you can see inside the airside terminal where you will see people. So it's going to look pretty impressive. So here's a quick closer look. As you can see, the jetway here all closed up, but with a light on the top. This all looks pretty impressive here. And here you can see inside the terminal airside lounge where you've got people and various bits and pieces. And just for a change, a quick view out from the inside of the aircraft with the door open and the jetway pulled back. Just something interesting for you to look at. So we go through the glass, we'll do a quick tour inside here so you can see what we're kind of looking at here. I mean, this is the way the interior lounges are done on most of the lounges you see. As you can see, MK Studios are advertising themselves as well. But the modelling inside here is brilliant. It really is. Okay, the passengers aren't animated, but I'm not bothered about that at all. And the only other thing I can't see is I can't see where you come into airside through to the security check and whatever. But this modelling is lovely. You got everything from little restaurants to drinks machines and all sorts going on here. Duty-free shop, which is closed at the moment by the looks of it. And yeah, I mean, it's lovely. It's really good. So we go out through the glass there. You can see the Alaska Airlines hangar in the distance. Beautifully lit inside, and the downlighting looks good as well, to be honest. And as we come to the left, there's the Delta hangar, and you can see you've got an Airbus there, and there's another aircraft on the other side. And again, various vehicles, downlighting, and you've got something inside the hangar there too. And if you look landside, you've got various street lamps, one or two buildings that are lit. So here's the train track, and we've got a train coming. And again, this is what I like. Okay, it's not the best at all, but it's lit up so you can see it during the darkness hours. Very nice indeed. I mean, the lighting is beautiful. It's very subtle. They've not overdone it. It just it's just phenomenal the way it looks. As you go across the stands here, it's beautiful. So here, I think you've got parallaxing. Yes, you have. But again, a very high resolution parallaxing, so it looks real. We're this close, and it still looks pretty good. I mean, that's quality. It really is. So here's the other tower on top of this building section here. And this is also modelled inside, as you can see, but once again, no controllers. But you have the light on top, which is great. There's the multi-storey car park landside there. And there you can see inside of this little satellite building. It's very nice indeed. Okay, time to drop it down to night time now. Okay, so it's 11 PM local time, and as you can see, the lighting is, I mean, it's lovely. There's really no words to describe it. It's very, very nicely done. You have this contrast again, where you've got the tungsten yellow kind of lighting here, which is airside, and that's typical for Seattle. It's an old airport, it's been around for a long time. Where they've done some new bits and pieces, you've got the LED lighter lighting here, and again these beautiful drop down LED lights that light up the various buildings. The landside upper roof of the car park is lit, and wherever you look there's lighting. Some of the vehicles here have got headlights, taxiway lights, wigwags, green centerline lights. This all is a really, really nice view. And there we are looking north. I mean, it's great to see those animated vehicles going along with their headlights. It just looks brilliant. And again, landside, you can see the two trains pulling into the station there. And some really stunning night lighting here. Okay, a quick introduction to landside, which we haven't looked at right by the terminal. But now is probably a really good time to look at it given the lighting. Once again, they've elected not to place any people here, which is a pity. But you've got the odd car, and you've got all the signage for the various terminal locations. And it's all done in 3D, all fully textured and modelled, and it looks great. As I said, there's no landside development, so going in through the glass won't reveal anything except an empty space. But as you can see, landside looks great, certainly at this time of the day when it's all lit up. Just would have been nice to have some people stood out here. As I've said before, we've now got animated and static people models that really don't affect the frame rate at all. You can stick them in the scenery and they won't affect the frame rate. But yeah, it looks great. It's quality. Whatever you look, it's quality. You know, the traffic signs and you know, it's just, I love it. This is one of the top airports in my opinion, and probably one of the best that MK Studios have produced thus far. I mean, that's brilliant. So once again, some lovely lighting on the station, nicely modelled, very subtle. A look down here, you've got the traffic lights at the roads here. This is the sort of attention to detail that just makes it all worthwhile. There's so much work gone into this. And actually, you know, this scenery is about €8–9 euros cheaper than some of the top sceneries I've seen that are getting on for like 29–30 euros. We're nowhere near as detailed as this. So a very quick look at the signage out on the taxiway at night. You've got your stop bars, centerline lights in green there, flashing wigwags, and the signage all lit up, and you've got these rather different blue airfield edge lights that are very bright, and to be honest, they're the right brightness for an airport like this. So a quick nighttime view across the flight deck, looking out towards the stands there. It looks great, it really does. I love it. Very impressive. And once again, the passenger view looking out of the starboard wing is brilliant. Okay, hopefully I'm in the right position. Let's bring up the dawn now. Okay, 6:05 in the morning, the sun's coming up behind me, and you can see we start to get this sort of reddish glow. A lot of it is masked because of, I think, hills and stuff behind us, but here you get a good idea looking across the airfield here. There we are, looking northwest towards the threshold of 16. There's the city of Seattle in the distance. And looking southwest, runway 34 in the distance here. And you've got the Delta and the Alaska Airlines hangar, various hotels and things here landside. Beautiful in the early morning sunshine. Okay, so here we are. It's now 7:15 in the evening. Trying to get a really decent shot and some lovely lighting on such a brilliant airport scenery. This is probably it. I sort of resisted the temptation to look at Mount Rainier behind us. But here we are looking north. You can see the 3 runways. You can see the airport layout in its entirety. And time to wrap up the review. So much I haven't shown you that you need to enjoy and explore such a massive detailed project. And realistically a very competitive price for what you have. I mean, done a lot of work. So do I like it? Yeah, you bet. If you want the best Seattle scenery so far, this is it. No question about it, in my opinion. Remember, when you buy this, or if you buy this, remember to disable the default Asobo Seattle, so you don't get any double runways or any double objects. But yeah, it's a wonderful scenery, a really wonderful scenery. There's really nothing to criticize, really. The only thing that's missing is the centerline, the touchdown zone lighting on 3-4 right here. But that's a minor issue. Everything else is literally perfect. All of the buildings, just about everything is weathered. There's shed loads of clutter, all in the right places and all that you expect. And again, yet another airport that looks brilliant during the darkness hours. The animated trains are lovely, and the fact that they're lit during the darkness hours is another big plus. And of course they've done the airport off airport as well. Pretty much the freeways that surround the airport have been 3D modelled, complete with signs, and you'll see plenty of traffic lights. And down here, look, you've got the VOR station, and there's loads of off airport stuff for you to explore. But this is going to be one of those airports that's going to get a lot of use, I would think, simply because it's just so wonderful to look at, so much detail. I can't wait to see this in Flight Sim 2024 one day when I get my new PC, but that's something I'm going to be looking forward to. So there you are, folks, at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in the state of Washington on the west coast of the United States. Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha, payware scenery, the latest rendition from MK Studios, and you're looking at the release version for Flight Sim 2020, and as I've said, there's a 2024 version available too. Download comes in at 1.6 gig and it installs at 2.7 gig. It's actually quite a small installation size given the amount of scenery and amount of stuff here, so they really have optimized this product. It's available from AnyBuilds, Contrail and SimMarket. Best price I can find at the moment is the SimMarket price, which includes taxes, selling for €21.59, which equates to roughly $24.38 US, or £18.29 UK. The US and UK prices are estimates taken from the euro displayed on SimMarket, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending where you are when you buy this. Shed loads of features. I hope you've enjoyed the Delta Airlines FENIX A321. I think it's a lovely livery, and he's done a great job inside and out, and it goes perfect with this airport where Delta has such a established presence here. So there we are. Hopefully this is not going to be on too long, but I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you've been on the fence about it, I hope this helps you. But thank you for watching, thank you for joining me, and thank you for supporting my efforts in trying to bring the best detailed reviews for you, the consumer, the flight simmer, dedicated or hobbyist. I hope I've managed to achieve some of that. So thanks for joining me. You guys take care. Have a great weekend coming up. I've got the 777-200ER from PMDG, and I need to sort of get my nerve together and get inside that beast and give it a flight. So take care. My name's Lee. I'll see you in the next week in the next video. Bye for now.